Making lean gains for your client. I wanted to go through the client check-in process that I currently do on myself to give you some insight into, for one, how I self-coach, but also even how we at J3U are running our coaching process for all of our coaches that we have on board, and give you some insight in like what I've done to try to set up a really phase in my off season where I've been really productive and not putting on a lot of body fat and staying lean, making progress in areas that you're going to be able to pick out to see where your client might be falling short, where you can help guide them. In some of this, we can look at some scale weight numbers and why certain check-ins could make you make the wrong calls if you're basing it solely on scale weight. So the first thing I do when I am doing my check-in, I don't look at any of the data that my client tells me about. I just look at the visuals first. That way it's unbiased. I'm not influenced in any way. I can pull up my picks side by side and try to pick out areas. And in the off season, I'm really looking for condition change on a week-to-week basis. And I really shouldn't be seeing it because I don't want to be seeing body fat gain that quickly. Now, if we're seeing some slight change over 2 to 3 weeks, that's okay. A little fading of a little bit of lines, but on a week-to-week basis, I shouldn't see someone get drastically softer. And so this is week to week, and you can see here that, I am a little bit more buzzed up, but either way, condition here is right on par. And we can look at body weight. This is 242.2 to 243.8, so a 1.6 pound increase. But is that actually reflective of a 1.6 pound increase? That's what I'm going to show you here shortly. But we can look at the rest of the visuals, compare them side by side. Again, look at obliques, look at the lower back, areas where you might see body fat come on first. Still looks really good here. We can look at the back shot, which is the most exposing, which is where you'll see where John gets fat quick is going to be his glutes, his lower back. And this still looks really, really close. You almost make a case that he looks a little bit leaner in his glutes. We could look at a rear double. Again, very, very similar condition-wise. So this rate of increase seems to be like he's very lean. Now, some might say, well, we should just push food more. He's staying lean. But you're going to get to a point where you don't want to be seeing someone get fat on a week-to-week basis. You'll quickly run out of off-season runway. So week to week, we don't want to see condition change. Now, we could go through the check-in and look through other things. Now, I don't usually type in my own full-on check-in, but I want to show body weight change because we're seeing a 1.6 pound increase here. However, don't just go off your check-in day weights. And because when we look at my actual daily habits of weights and where I log these daily, is that we should look at the average weight change. And then lastly, where the weight is trending for the week. And through this is where we could actually use scale weight to get a better picture of what's happening. So my average for the weight is 242.9. Now this is going to be a more reflective of where the total weight trend is going, not my 1.6 pounds, because an acute weight could be very influenced by maybe they had a meal later that night, maybe they had some extra sodium, maybe they woke up earlier, maybe there was a fluid change, maybe they were trained legs the day before. So that doesn't give a lot of insight into the trend of the weight. So here we have, say, 243. The previous week, I was 241.7. So now we're actually looking at like a 1.2 body weight increase, which is about I would say about a 0.5% body weight increase per week. Very on par for what's reasonable rate of pretty lean tissue gain. For my more advanced guys, I don't really like to go faster than that. If you think about it, if you did this for another 10 weeks, another 10 pounds of body weight, 12 pounds of body weight, that would be very substantial, especially if you stayed very lean. Now, okay, so we looked at our average where we're trending about this 1 pound per week. Seems within reason based on the visuals. We also want to look at where it trends. So where are we seeing our weights increase? Is it linear? Is it really high in the beginning of the week, then trails down? Does it trail up? Because this also gives us insight of the direction of what's happening for the week, and where we might also look at is output. Like maybe we saw they trended down at the end of the week, but their step count was incrementally increasing. Like, oh man, they just got really active in the week. Maybe we want to ask them about that. Will it continue next week? that activity level, and that might prompt us to change food as well. Now, what you see it for me is that 242, 242.4, 0.6, 0.6. Then Saturday I jump to 243.4. I jump up like 0.8 pounds. Then I jump up a pound. And the week before, similar trend. 240.8, 241.2, 240.8, 243. It's a big jump up. Then 242. And then that carries back into that week of staying around 242. So what it looks like is around this Friday, Saturday area, there's a bigger weight increase for the entire week. Why would that be? Well, important to know is that on Friday evening is when I have my sushi meal. And then I also train legs on Friday. So I think we're seeing a dual piece here. Is for one, I am thinking, and it looks visually fine for what's happening, but at least around that area, legs are getting trained. Then that's an off day diet, which has more veggies in it, probably why body weight stays up a little bit more. Now, should it be adjusted? Now, if I usually see a client that jumps up more than 2 pounds off an untracked meal and it doesn't come back down, that might be that they're overeating, that food's actually sticking to them, then the rest of the week we're eating at maintenance. So that's when I would be prompted to say, hey, we need to dial back on this untracked meal. It's just way too much food. I'd rather feed you more every single day. Now, what I'm also seeing in my own increase is that is the day after I train legs, which we could see some leg inflammation being present. Legs just are being heavier. And the fact that it does come down a bit, not overly concerning. And then when we look at my visuals, we're growing really lean. So that prompts me to say, like, let's just continue the plan as is. We have a good average rate of change right now. You're not getting overly fat. And then what I like to do in the off season is always to look back on previous weeks. So we could go back and look at 1, 2, 3. Hell, let's look 4 weeks back. 236.6. So this is now we're looking at about an 8-pound change in body weight. And let's look at the visuals. Damn, still very lean, but now we can actually see the size increase, right? Legs look fuller, can see more roundness in the delts that wasn't there. That's when you're actually going to be able to see fullness changes over the course of weeks when you're coaching, not over just the week-to-week basis. I mean, look at the back change. It's like lats weren't even trained before. So this and then condition, we're like, okay, wow, he's growing really lean here. We just need to keep this trend going. So that's how I would go about looking at your visuals, looking at scale weight to help kind of guide that process. If you want to learn more about getting in this process to learn and just get coached, check out the link below. We'll have some information on J3U Coaching. Or if you're self-coaching, check out J3 University. This is exactly what I teach you how to do, how to implement a plan to be successful and to have a productive off season. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll talk to you next time.